Okay, first thing first, let's get rid of the default objects here. So let's select them all, X to delete, click OK. And we'll start with the plane to define the bounds of our scene. So let's Shift A for a new object and select plane. And right now we can go just into the edit mode, press S to scale, and scale it up to 8 squares. Right, just like this. And we can call this ground. This will later serve as the base for a ground. And first thing I want to create is that ruin structure. So let's tab out and create a new plane. So Shift A again and create a plane. Let's name that ruin. So we are tidy right from the start. And switch to the top view with 7 on the numpad. And let's go into the edit mode. 1 for a vertex selection. And let's select the left vertices here. Drag a selection around them. And yeah, let's switch to the wireframe by holding Z and going left. And we want to move them somewhere here to the left, so just press G to grab, X on the X-axis. And as you know, you can hold Control to snap to these little increments, and let's move it up until here. So there is like a 0.5 distance here. And yeah, let's select the top ones. So drag a selection around those. Press G to grab, Y, and again hold Control to snap it here. I don't want to go all the way this far, so this will be enough, I think. Let's snap it here. And I want to select the bottom ones here and drag them down, but just like 0.5 meters or something like that. So let's press G, Y, hold Control and drag it a little bit. Now let's switch to face select with 3. Select this and let's go to the side view on the numpad with number 3. Let's press E to extrude. We want to extrude the building. And let's hold Control again, so we are a little bit precise. And let's move right up until here, so it's a 1.5 meters. Okay, now let's go to the perspective view. We can go solid, I think. We'll add some loop cuts on the X and Y, so press Ctrl R to make a loop cut and make one here. Press Escape to release, and the one here. Okay, let's switch to the face select again by pressing 3. Select this face and I want to extrude it 1.5. And as you know, you can enter the numerical values as well. So if we don't want to snap it with Control, we can just press E and then 1.5 and it will extrude for us. So that's neat. And let's select these 4 faces. Here on the top, I'm just holding Shift and clicking them. And I want to extrude them like a really small amount, something like 0.2. So we can do it with the keyboard too. Let's press E and then 0.2 and enter. And as you can see, there's no need to enter 0.2. If you start your number with point, Blender understands that perfectly. So I like how in Blender everything is made to be really fast and quick, so you can do many things with fewer keystrokes. And now let's just select this face here. I want to have a tunnel in there where the water will be flowing through. So first of all, I want to inset this. So let's press I to inset. and if we want to be precise, let's put 0.1 and enter. I really need only really small amount. And now if we go to the side view with number 3 on the keypad and switch to the wireframe by holding Z and going left, I want to extrude this face inside the building, and let's do that right now. Let's hold Control, and I want to go something like 3.5, 3.4, something like this. I think this will be enough. I think it was 3.4. Let's check that. I will hit Control Z and then E minus 3.4. Yeah, okay. Let's rotate this, go to the solid view. I want to clean this up a little bit because this structure will have water here, so I don't want it to be closed like this, so we need to open this bottom part, and that's why I did the inset, because I didn't want the extruded tunnel to touch this face here. I want as clean geometry as I possibly can have. So let's shift select the bottom tunnel and this one in the front and unselect this. So with holding shift, click here, and with these two selected, let's just press X and delete faces. Okay, so we open it up and now we need to do some cleanup, but nothing too serious. Let's just press 2 to edge select and click this edge and shift click the other two, so you have this loop selected, and we need to bring them down. And there are several ways how to do that. One could be setting this to a cursor, pivot point, and scaling to 0. But since we know it's a 0.1 because the inset was 0.1, we can just press G then Z and minus 0.1, enter. And right now we can go to the face select again by pressing 3 and select these two faces, so hold shift and select these two and delete by X and faces. Now I want to extrude one last part of the structure to create the riverbed here, so we can have a little waterfall here over the tunnel. So let's press Ctrl R to loop cut and increase the count to with the mouse wheel. Click to confirm, escape to release. And right now I want to scale this on the X outside, so press S, then X, and scale it out. I think maybe somewhere here. Okay, and now let's go to the face select again by pressing 3. And let's select these by holding shift and clicking. And so we're basically selecting all the top faces except the two where the river will be. So let's extrude these. And again, I want to go something like this. That's maybe 0.2, somewhere in that area. You can of course do this as you want. You don't have to use the values that I'm using. And it's just because I want you to get as close to the final result as possible. Okay, and there's one last thing. If you deactivate the ground here by pressing this eye icon and rotate underneath the object, you can see we left some opening here, and I want to close that. So let's go to the edge select by pressing 2 and just click this by holding Alt. So Alt click, and as you know from the episodes before, Alt click selects the loop, and we will just close this by pressing F. And if you think this is not so regular, you might be right. This is not very clean geometry, but for this purpose, I think that'll do. I just want a closed object, and I don't care about creating one n-gon. So this, what we created right here, is called the n-gon because it has more than 4 sides. But it's nicely closed object, and since we won't be doing any deformations here or any animations, anything like that, and it's underneath the building, it really doesn't matter that there's an n-gon there, so fine by me. Let's activate the ground again, tab out, and this is the base for our ruin structure here. Right now we'll need to model some stairs and some pillars and stuff, so let's move on to the next chapter.